Good morning, everyone. On behalf of Indian Aviation Academy, I extend a warm welcome to all of you to our monthly webinar series, WAKE, Vision for Excellence and Growth in Aviation. And we are delighted to have you join us today for the second session in our series, focusing on 21st century skills for aviation professionals. This is the part 2 of it, which is focusing on life skills. At Indian Aviation Academy, we are committed to nurturing talent and fostering excellence in the aviation sector through these specialized trainings and knowledge sharing initiatives. Today's session is a testament to that commitment, and we are excited to explore the essential life skills that are shaping the aviation professionals of tomorrow. And we are honored to have with us Mr. B. Senthilvel, sir, Director of Indian Aviation Academy, as our esteemed speaker. With his vast experience and insights, I am sure today's session will be both enlightening and inspiring for all of us. Without further ado, I would like to invite Mr. B. Senthilvel, sir, to take us through today's topic. Sir, the virtual stage is yours.
Thank you, Mayank. So you can periodically check my audio also. In case if there is any issue, you can immediately interrupt me. Okay?
Sure, sir.
Okay. So good morning to all of you. Thank you so much for joining by sparing your valuable time. So today, as Mayank has told, today we are going to discuss the second part of this webinar. Part 1, we have discussed 2 stories. I'm not repeating everything, just I would like to tell you. We discussed 2 stories to emphasize why the skill update is very much essential and how the individual's contribution as well as training institute or any mentors, their role is very important on skill development. Then further, last time we discussed the comparison between the 21st century skills and ancestral skills. Then what drives for 21st century skills we discussed. Then also we covered particularly learning skills and literature skills we covered. So these are the 2 stories I am not repeating. We discussed. Then we had some discussion on how the ancestral skill is related to present generation skill. So the important point I want to highlight once again, the ancestral skill evolved throughout century, throughout history, but that application has shifted dramatically due to technological advancement and globalization and changes in social structures. And also we have compared how these skills are applied in the ancestral time and how the same skills are applied in the 21st century. Then how we apply the traditional skills in the present generation. These are the things we discussed. Then how do we transform the ancestral skills to the present 21st century requirement? So also we discussed drivers for 21st century skill. The main driver is automation, artificial intelligence, and big data analysis. These things really change in the way we have to adapt to the new technologies and the new skills so that we will be able to get the results in the as per the demand in the market. So today we have to give the result in a short time. So how do we use this technology? That becomes very important. Also, the globalization has compelled us to improve our competency and skills at par with the international standards. Then there are major class like this industry specific challenges. Aviation industry poses a lot of challenges. Similarly, the capacity building need to be done. In that case, you need to develop your knowledge, skills, and competence in the aviation domain, not only in the industry, much before the industry, that is even at the level of college and schools. Then how do we remain sustainable in our aviation industry and how do we manage the crisis management? So whatever the crisis that was happening 1 decade back in the aviation industry doesn't remain same. It changes now. So we need to develop this. So we discuss learning skills. Then we discuss also literacy skills. What we have to cover is life skills today, that is flips, that we will discuss. Before that, what are the 4 C's we covered last time? Critical thinking, creativity, collaboration, and communication. These are the 4 fundamental problem solving, teamwork, and adaptability in the aviation industry. If you want to do problem solving, teamwork, adaptability in the industry, these 4 skills are very, very important thing. Similarly, we have also discussed in our aviation scenario where critical things are important, where creativity is important, where collaboration is important, and communication is important. These things we have discussed. Also, we discussed where these multiple C's are required in a particular scenario. Further, we discussed about the information literacy and media literacy and technology literacy. So here the most importantly, we discussed how do you distinguish a resource, whatever information you receive, whether it is credible or non-credible. How do you identify a resource? Because today the challenge is that when you Google any particular issue, you will find more than what you need. And you are not in a position to distinguish which is the credible source and non-credible source. So simply you should not believe that Google is like a god. Whatever it gives is true. You need to analyze which is credible and non-credible. So we listed some of the points how to identify this. So one small test methods also we discussed. You can simplified manner you can remember. Trap means whenever you get any information, you should know what is the currency, whether this is a very recent information and whether this information is very relevant to our subject or whatever the topic that you discuss. Similarly, who is the person who is talking about this? What authority is having in that particular field? Then how accurately is the data is provided? And what is the purpose? What is the motive? What is the motive behind this kind of information? So these are the things we discussed. So today what we will discuss about the life skills. Flips, that 4 or 5 points we will discuss. Then most importantly, the important part of the session is today, how to identify the skills needed for our role. See, there are some list of skills I identified after doing a small research. If you see the list, there is hundreds of skills people say that we need to know. Is it possible for us to acquire all those skills within the short time given? It is not possible. Suppose you may be in the senior management level. You may have service itself 1 or 2 years. Where is the time for you to upgrade all those skills? So we need to identify the skills that are needed to our role. Once we identify the skills required for our role, we also should be able to correlate with whatever I discussed here. That is learning skills. There is nothing but 4 C's. Then digital literacy, that is IMT. Then the life skills. So if you are able to interconnect these things, then you will be in a position to prioritize these skills. Once you prioritize these skills, then you should develop these skills. Say, for example, you wanted to learn guitar, you wanted to learn singing, you wanted to learn Kung Fu, you want to learn Urdu, you want to learn Russia, you wanted to learn what is project management. Like this, you have got some 100 agendas. Will it be possible for you to learn all these 100 agenda at a time? Not possible. So you need to ask yourself certain set of questions. You try to answer all those questions. Then that will give you an idea what you have to develop and how you should give a priority. So then only you'll be able to, well-informed manner, you should be able to identify the priority, all these things. Once, okay, you identify, today I wanted to learn how to drive car. I wanted to drive car. Driving skill for car, I wanted to acquire. Then what I have to do? I have to find out the means, how these skills can be developed. All the time, like the first 2 stories, what I told in the last time, in addition to the whatever means you have to develop the skills, your individual strategy and your commitment is very much important for developing this skill development. Today, this session is a little bit more informative, but so I am just proceeding one by one. Wherever you have doubts, you can raise the questions in the chat box. So I have kept my chat box open, so I will parallelly go through that. Now, for first example, the first we have to discuss about the life skills. So life skill means what? FLIP stands for flexibility, then leadership, then initiative, productivity, and social skills. If you imagine any most successful leader, you can see even the senior top management board members in the airport authority itself. You can distinguish their capabilities and skills than from us. In other words, what kind of skills they elevated them to that level, you can see. So you'll be able to appreciate if you correlate to the practical living examples, whatever you see. Not necessarily in Airport Authority of India. You can refer ISRO, you can refer any other leading government organization and the private organizations where the leaders, how they are excelling. So this is very, very important. That's why it is called life skills. If you do not know these skills, you will not be in a position to get your work done or you cannot achieve your results. So let us start with the flexibility, adapting to change. So whenever challenges comes, you should know how to adapt yourself. Whenever challenge comes, you should know how to adapt yourself. Suppose tomorrow there may be some changes in our organization. There may be some challenges thrown to our organization. So being part into the system, we should know how to handle these changes. Say for example, sudden emergency happens in the aircraft. How pilot handles. Similarly, a new policies have come. DGCA rolls out a new policy. ICAO rolls out a new policy. These new rules, the new SARPs may not be suitable for you with the existing level of competency. Suddenly the change is required, the change has been brought into the system. Say for example, a new type of security equipments have been brought into the airport security management. Then the existing security managers must know these new guidelines, the equipment, and the compliance requirement. So your existing competency and skill may not be suitable. You may have to update. So you should not repel to that. You should flexibly, you should be in a position to adapt to the change. The next is leadership. Now we are talking about flips. Flexibility, now we are talking about leadership. All of you would agree, leadership is the most important thing because individually how you guide to your success is different, but when it comes to your team, how you guide your team to success is totally a different one. So the leadership quality or leadership skills is very, very important. So we will see further the leadership quality cannot or skills cannot be improved in a simply say for example 3 days training or 1 day workshop. It requires so many skills. So you will have to develop one by one based on your role. That's why we are telling based on your role you should identify which are the skills are very, very essential for you to develop. Similarly, initiative. Generally, initiative is very, very important in any particular industry or any particular business. Say, for example, this webinar series, it is an initiative from IAA. No one has compelled us that you have to do webinar every month. No, it's our own initiative. So this our own initiative mainly to connect with our main stakeholders, that is our AE executives. So somehow you should connect with them. Then you should educate about the schedules and similarly the common subjects and everything. So this is one sorts of initiative. Like this, we can have so many other initiatives. So initiatives are a very, very important in a life skill. It means what? Initiative means what? Proactively, you will do something. You will not wait for the problem to come. You know, there are basic management type they will tell, firefighting management. Firefighting management means what? After fire comes, we will fight the fire to put off. But what will happen? This kind of management technique will not assure you that tomorrow fire will not happen. So there should be a proactive issue. Similarly, pilots anticipate the technical failures. Airlines innovate customer service. Aviation adopt sustainability program. All these things, if you see, it's all proactive thoughts only can bring all these customer service. If you go to Chennai airport, you go to Mumbai airport, you go to Delhi airport, you go to Bangalore airport, you will not find same thing everywhere. There will be, you definitely will find different innovation from different airport and different airport operator. So this is what kind of skills that makes them to do. The management's initiative skills only brings these things. Then next is productivity. Ultimately, whatever you do, you will have to increase the efficiency. How with a similar input, how much maximum output you will get efficiently. So this is applicable for everybody. Whether you work in airline, whether you work in ATC or ground handling or airport operation. Whatever you do on a day-to-day basis, you will have to know how to increase your efficiency. Say for example, today 5 people are there. This many fund is given, this many resources have been given, either in terms of technology or machine. What kind of output is brought? Tomorrow, tomorrow or next year, the same month to month, how you are improving the efficiency? Whether you are able to handle more traffic, more challenges, these are all brings the productivity skill only will bring these things. Then the next one is social skills. This is very simply related to relationship. Social skills are very important even for you to survive as a husband, father, son, brother or whatever. So it is naturally required in the office also. In office, nobody has got more time to interact with you and understand you personally. In family, you have more time, but still your social skills are very important to have harmonious relation in that family itself. So you can easily appreciate why these skills are very important in the aviation industry. Particularly, aviation industry is the multicultural industry, where you will find a multicultural teams. You will interact in a globalized environment. Passengers will be coming from different countries. Your vendors will come from different countries. In a given simple, say for example, surveillance automation system in a particular airport, you will find different vendors from different country. The total solution, if you can say, a CNS ATM automation solution, you will not find single vendor. You will find from multiple countries. So you should know this cross-cultural competency also. So social skills are very important to deal with different type of vendors and the passengers. So now, once we discussed learning skills, digital literacy skills, and life skills, if you in a layman point of view, you simply list all the skills. How many skills you will list? I have given a very big list. You need not worry if you are not able to read these things. So almost roughly you can say around 120 plus skills I listed. This I told now I did some small research and I tried to identify what kind of research skills we had there. Okay, you keep post your queries. So as I earlier told, anything relevant to the presentation immediately we will discuss. Remaining things, my team will note down this. And can you tell me, Saurav, you are from which region? You can just type, you are from southern region. In southern region, we are addressing very shortly the entire flow inconsistencies. Already I am in touch with the RED office also. Maybe in a day or two, you will find that southern region flow issues will be addressed on first priority. Second, we will do the same exercise with the Kolkata. Because here what happens, we have two EDs. One is RED and one APD. So there are some issues, the people by mistake, they contact my IT boy, keep on, they ask them to change their flow. So finally what happens, that inconsistencies happens. So most probably in a day or two, we will address the southern region issue and followed by eastern region issues where we have both REDs and the APDs. Okay, but you keep post this queries, we will try to address after the webinar. So now let us come back to the webinar. You find this so many skills we listed. How do we identify which skills are required? So first we have to identify what are the skills required for our role. Then we will have to map with this 21st century skills, 3 terminologies, whatever I told. So that you will be able to, micro level, you will be able to see which skill you have to improve. Say, for example, you have to improve the digital literacy skill. Okay, in this media skill, media literacy I have to improve, or technology literacy I have to improve, or information literacy I have to improve. So those things you will be able to do it. Then finally, you have to prioritize. Then further, you have to identify the means. To simplify all your requirements, I have done some research from the IAA based on the training need analysis and so many other factors. I have identified 6 groups of competency skills. In that, I have made 4 skills in each group. So I will discuss one by one. Similarly, you can also categorize skills from based on your own knowledge and input. But still, I would like to suggest you to go through this, whatever I have shown, I am showing now. First thing is leadership and team management. If you wanted to be a good leadership and team management skill, overall competency on this, if you wanted to know, okay, Mr. Pavan, I think your query will be answered at the end of this session itself. So please wait till the end of the session. Your queries will be very much answered by this presentation and our future plan. So connected leadership. Just you will read the term. You need not read the PPT. Just you listen these words. This connected leadership. First, you should be connected with your team. How you bring your team connected? All of them should have the same values. Everyone should understand they all are having same goals. Say suddenly some heavy rain has come. That water started means your basement is about to be filled by water. Water logging is seriously increasing. Now, if you call your civil engineer and electrical engineer, both should have the same objective. Civil engineer also should have the same objective that the water level should be controlled. Electrical engineer also should have the same thought process that the water level should be controlled. So civil engineer may think in different angle how to make the conduit very fast, clear or something. Electrical engineer will think out how to pump maximum efficiently. It means they have the same goal. Then that water logging problem can be easily solved. Similarly, they should have a collaboration with you. You should have one-to-one collaboration as well as within the team also collaborative skills should be there. So you just small example I gave. From this you can understand water logging problem is now it's going to be a very hell. It's a weather is keep on changing. Every airport is having a water logging problem. All over world. It's not about southern region or India or something. All over world. So for example, I'm telling these kind of challenges, you need a well-established, connected team. And there is a collaborative effort should be there. Next is emotional intelligence. It is not easy for you to be a leader. Imagine about political leaders, big leaders, successful leaders like our prime minister or chief ministers, how they are connecting relationship with the people. It's such a huge, varying nature of the people's mindset, beliefs, culture, how they are able to interact with them. So when you compare with them, what we do in an office is nothing. It's very negligible. But at the same time, scientifically, we should put some effort to improve these skills. Then you will be able to be a perfect person. Then mentoring and the team development. Guiding team member, you should also able to mentor the people, those who are lagging. It is not that you need only best people in your team. It is impossible. We are all government organization. We all know all the 100 people may not be at the same level due to so many reasons. I'm not going into that. But we should accommodate it. We should be inclusive. Some of our colleagues will do extraordinarily well. Some of our colleagues will have some problem. But we should know how to motivate them and improve themselves and then build a team. Then capacity building. Capacity building is one of the most fascinating word these days. In our aviation industry also is frequently used. Say for example, the previous point, whatever I told, you have a team members, some of them are lacking in knowledge, skills. So as a team leader, it's your duty to build the capacity of the team. Instead of keep appreciating the person who works, you should also try to develop the people, those who are not able to perform. So you should build their capacity. So what we are trying to do from IA, why this webinar we are doing? We have an ambitious target. We need to build knowledge and skills among all our population in whatever the way possible. At least once in a month, we should discuss about certain topic. So in this, what will happen? We are triggering their knowledge and skills competency development cycle. Once you trigger people, if they get inspired, then they will be started developing their own. Indirectly, we are contributing the capacity building of Airport Authority of India. Similarly, you should do. The next skill is communication collaboration. This is the most important thing. All of you will agree. I am not going into detail about this. This is very self-explanatory communication skill. Only thing you should know that effective communication, how to do in every stage of your communication. See, we have revised a training program, effective presentation. This effective presentation, we have considered so many factors in developing this course. It is not about PowerPoint presentation. How do you communicate to your technical circle if you are a technical person? How to communicate with your non-technical person if you are not a, if you, this say, for example, regional director, any region you take, suppose RDNR, he is an engineering executive. He has got a very good background on engineering. But there may be some RD who may not be background having engineering, but he may be from finance. He may be from HR. How do you communicate? But you are, say, as an example, you take, you are a ATCO or you are a CNS person. You should know how to communicate with him also. It is not sufficient for you to communicate with your own ADs only. So this is what we want to address in the effective presentation. How will you present your problem to management? How you present the problem to your subordinates? How you face media? How you will draft a mail to a layman? How you draft a mail to the technical people? These are the things we are concentrating on the effective presentation training. With a lot of case studies, we are introducing this training. This is only to develop this kind of skills. Then adaptability and strategic thinking. Adaptability already I told. Strategic thinking also very, very important. You should be proactive and strategically think how innovatively you can anticipate the new challenges and face those challenges. So all these things, the listing is very easy, but developing is really, it's a lot of hard work you have to put. You have to put sincerely your own effort, and you should monitor and control your own progress. Now, problem solving and decision making. This is also another important thing. Critical thinking, decision making under pressure is very much important in the present days. Decision making you may do. There may be some people who will take decision after 1 month, but that is not. It may not meet the requirement of present day. How quickly you make a decision under pressure, and a new concept that is called data-driven decisions. You cannot make any decision based on your intuition. You should prove with the data. So we have introduced a course this year, data-driven decision making. You also introduced data analytics through Power BI. So if people undergo these trainings, this will help them to make a data-driven decision making. And once you are habituated of forming data, analyze the data for your decision. Under pressure also, you will be able to make decision in a very factful manner. And also creativity and innovation, how we will improve. So all these things are already there in our gene. If you scientifically see, our ancestors had much more skills than present days people. So naturally our gene has got all these skills, but we need to activate. In other words, we should have some minimum program to trigger these skills. Then you will be able to do your homework and the hard work. Further, you will excel in these skills. Then safety, risk management, technological proficiency. So 6 category I told, isn't it? So quickly I will tell once again. Leadership and team management, number 1. Second is communication collaboration. Third one is adaptability and strategic thinking. Fourth one is problem solving and decision making. Fifth is safety and risk management. Then sixth is technical proficiency. So safety and compliance, these are all the words are very, very common to all our civil aviation stakeholders. So I am not touching that one. When it comes to technical and sustainability skills, you need to be very expertise in your air traffic control system, airport management system. Not only that, based on your role, you should also know emerging technologies. What are the technologies are in the pipeline? how environmental sustainable energies we can make, what kind of sustainable green aviation efforts we can introduce in our aviation industry. All these things you should have technical knowledge also, and sustainability skill also you should develop. Okay, so this we will see.